I don't see what the offense of, how I'm being offensive. But they say like, no, that hurted me. I'm like, how? I just said da-da-da-da. And you like, yeah, but I like, so you got to kind of know how to understand that what may not offend you may offend. You know what I'm saying? Certain things I started to learn like, damn, maybe I need to stop saying that because just understanding how you know what you do, and it's hard for somebody to tell you did something because you get defensive rather than being like, wait a minute, let me just hear. And I started hearing the same thing from different women, and that's what made me started realizing like, no, it's not them. They all telling me they don't even know each other. They telling me things about myself, and I say, you know what? Nah. I gotta accept that and really try to. Really work on that. So that's how I ended up, you know what I'm saying, working through it.
I think that's what made my second go around at the relationship actually fall apart, is realizing how wrong I was in the first relationship. So he like kissed the ground I walked on. And I fully took advantage of that. And I knew that I was in the wrong and I should have reciprocated more. But like I just basically turned into like a greedy monster the first time around. And so the second time he had realized it and I had realized it, and then it flipped into where I was now like kissing the ground he walked on, and he was just stomping all over me. And he was like, I grew some balls. When I would ask him about it, I'm like, why are you treating me so mean? Like, I'm being so nice to you. And he's like, I just grew some balls. And I'm like, no, you didn't.
Well, good for you, whoever you are out there. Right? It's important to grow some balls.
Yes, it is.
It is, but it's not.
But don't
be mean to your girlfriend when she's trying to apologize.
Yeah. And that's the thing too, accepting apologies and forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know, if you want to get your ex back, you have to be able to forgive them for whatever it is, and that's hard to do.
Oh yeah.
So
that's hard to do. That's definitely hard to do. And what's hard to do, period, is to be in a relationship, because what if you're not being, in your life, you haven't had someone that shows you the model of how to do it. You know what I'm saying? It's hard to kind of get it right, because you got to go through the trials and try to figure out what you're doing wrong, because you're not sure. Like me, my mother never was with no one, so she had a little flings that came in and out, but I didn't have that example of how to be in a relationship or how to be a father, or how to certain thing with raising my kids. Like I had to kind of figure this out through trial and error.
Yeah, you just going off of what did he do wrong? I'm trying to do the opposite. And that's not always That's not always the way to go, because some of the things they may have done wrong, and you might have gotten the wrong information growing up.
Yeah.
Oh, that's true.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you're just going off of, well, my pops did this, so I'm going to do the complete opposite, and that may push somebody away too.
Yeah. Right.
Because you're instead of being extreme over here, you're extreme over here.
Yeah. Right. You need a neutral balance.
That's what's hard. That's why it's so hard for like, especially nowadays, especially when this social media done got inserted into all this.
Absolutely.
So now that's another whole thing that's just bombarded on your relationship. So it's like
just
has anyone here ever like tried to date on social media, like any sort of dating app?
It's not that I used to use dating apps a lot.
It is
the
awful
Black
out here.
Yeah.
I've never.
And I've met people
never
on
even
there.
put up a
I
profile.
almost got married again from that, but it's definitely and that was like the new norm for COVID dating. But at the same time, like I said, I was trying to focus on not reverting back. Yeah. And I was trying to meet new people. And when you
try something different,
are so busy with your own life, like trying to run your own business and working full time. Plus, I have 5 children. Like, where do you have time to date? Yeah. You know what I mean? Where do you find that time? And that's why I always like kind of reverted back too, because it's like, I know I can put you in your place and you already know what it is. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. Not put you in your place, but like when you're dating someone fresh, they're very I want to get to know you. I need your time. And you just don't have time for that. Like I don't have time to get to know you all over again. You know what I mean?
True.
But and that was my fault, because I shouldn't have even tried to jump into that knowing how busy I was, and that's not fair to that person. So then I would revert back like, well, let me go back here because they already know they're not going to be, blowing my phone up and this and that. And obviously it's like that doesn't always work.
It don't work.
That's why I can't go back with some.
Absolutely awful. But the other guy that I dated that I was in a long-term relationship with that I said came crawling back as well. We actually matched on Tinder.
And
I was like, I swiped left on him so many times, and finally one day it just popped up. I was like, you know what? Let's see. And we matched, and I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. So then he messaged me, and he's like, hey, long time, no talk. What's going on? He's like, we should get coffee. And I was like, oh, yeah, I actually wouldn't mind getting coffee and, seeing what's different. The relationship ended because he cheated on me, right? So I was like, you know what, let's get coffee. You can explain yourself. Let's get closure on this.
Yes, sir.
So I was like, yeah, let's do coffee on Friday. And then Thursday and Friday go by and no word from him. So I was like, I'm not even going to put in effort at this point. Like, if he wants to talk to me, he will. Saturday morning, his Facebook status changed to in a relationship.
No and I was like,
huh. Okay, so you haven't changed.
You haven't changed.
All right. And I was like, I wonder. At that point, I was getting petty. I was like, should I message her and be like, your new boyfriend was just asking me to get coffee like 2 days ago.
Do it.
I didn't.
You're wearing red for a reason. The little devil on that shoulder. Like,
do it. You're like, girl, no.
Don't even waste your time.
That's crazy.
I didn't.
That's a shame.
Thought about it.
How we do women, man, because they're so precious and so like the gods of the earth.
Who's we?
You know what I'm saying? You
Who's we?
Who's we? You a good guy?
Yeah.
All right, that's what I'm saying.
I'm innocent. I'm innocent till proven guilty.
VOI
until proven guilty.
VOI. V-O-.
Nobody has evidence to say otherwise.
Your name V-O-Ice, man.
Yes. The nice guy. The nice guy.
Yeah, this is crazy, man.
But let me tell you something. That sometimes doesn't go the right way either.
What's that?
Being the nice guy.
No, oh, it doesn't. It doesn't. Nice guys always finish last.
Why is that?
I'm the first to say
we get friend zoned more than we live in the friend zone.
Why is that?
So a lot of guys
honey, tell me this.
Will use I'm a nice guy to get you to start talking, and they're not a nice guy. Like,
how about they really a nice guy though?
Any guy who says that they're a nice guy is not a nice guy.
All right, so
that's why I don't say it. I just let you find it out.
So V-O-Ice is not a nice guy.
No, he's saying it for podcast purposes.
Yeah.
I don't think he goes to women and say, "Hey, I'm a nice guy. Give me a chance."
But why does that? Why do I want to know that?
I'm currently looking for a nice guy, so I'm gonna let V Savage answer that one.
No, I'm gonna give you the
absolute
raw dog. Truth.
All right.
Break it down.
The truth. Yeah.
I gotta break the voice down.
Yeah. I want to know this because I've noticed that.
Truth.
I've noticed that.
From V Savage perspective.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm just saying. I've dated the nice guys. I've dated the not so nice guys. And I think it boils down to women always think they want the nice guy, but they get bored of the nice guy.
Okay.
That whole bad boy mentality, it has nothing to do with them actually being a bad boy. Mm-hmm. It is more so the excitement of the relationship, adventure. The passion involved. Every nice guy I've ever had was so respectful that I couldn't see you as in like that sexual, type of attraction.
Do you remember?
Oh, listen, us nice guys can get down too.
But you gotta prove it before it actually. You gotta show something to get to that point.
So what is the bad guy showing you that actually? What, he got a gun on? Like, hey, look, baby.
No.
Like, I'm trying to figure out what is it that he's doing.
It literally has nothing to do with the actual bad boy type. Like,
okay.
And I've dated everything from drug dealers to architects to whatever you can think of, lawyers, whatever. And I feel like it's just the way you carry yourself. It's the confidence that they have. Yeah. The nice guys never have enough confidence.
Confidence, not cockiness.
Right. There's a difference because the bad boys can be very cocky,
and that's a huge turn off.
Huge turn off.
So cockiness is a huge turn off.
You gotta be humble.
Confidence.
Humble and confident.
Yeah.
That's what's gonna get you from point A to point B, because if you don't have, it's like we were talking about in the entrepreneur show, selling yourself. Essentially, when you're dating, you're selling yourself to that person. Mm-hmm. And if you don't have confidence in yourself, if you're not confident, I want to date you, why would I want to date you?
Right.
Like, you know what I mean? So I think that's what it boils down to.
Do you remember we used to work together and there was this guy who came in who I guess was like in the military or something.
I remember the Navy guy.
He was
I
old.
love military men.
I don't think it was the Navy guy. The Navy guy is a different story. But this guy comes in and he sits down, right? And I'm like talking to him, making a sale, whatever. And he kept calling me ma'am. He was like, oh, yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. And I was like, oh, don't call me ma'am. And the conversation was so quick. He's like, yes, ma'am. I was like, don't call me ma'am. He's like, oh, I'm sorry. Like, I'm just trying to be respectful. And I was like, don't respect me. And then I was like, that's not what I meant.
Okay.
I was like,
that
let's
went
just
left very quickly.
backtrack that real quick. I was like,
Wow.
that was so unprofessional. And I remember you were standing next to me and you were like, what did you just say? I was like, I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. That's not what I meant. So, yeah.
When you're overly, I don't know, it's just, I don't know.
I got friends that it's just so nice. I got a couple friends that just so nice, man. And they be like, and I be seeing it in motion. They be like checking on the females and how you doing? And I just want to know if you hungry. I'm gonna bring you some. And they said they get treated like crazy. I'm like, yo, like
sometimes
they're
too
like, what am I
overbearing.
doing wrong? I'm like, listen, man,
No, in that case, I mean, like she said, sometimes you can be overbearing without realizing it.
You could be
as far as like
nice.
checking in too much. You
Like,
know?
stop bringing me lunch. I want to buy on my own.
Women like to be ignored sometimes.
I hate distance
to say
makes
it.
the heart grow.
I know that. I noticed that too.
Distance makes the
They be
heart
kinda,
grow
oh,
fonder.
you
You gotta
As
give
soon
her
as you
time
stop
to
talking
miss
to
you.
someone, so if you're talking to someone, right, and you notice them getting distance, just stop talking to them. They come crawling back. They're like, why'd you stop talking to me? What happened?
Yeah, because if she's genuinely interested, she will reach out.
Yeah.
I mean, this is women we're talking about.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
There's no woman that doesn't want to be swept off their feet.
Yeah.
There's
Right.
not a single woman in this world, like Hitch says, that doesn't want to be swept off her feet.
Favorite
it's
movie.
just about doing it the right way. You know what I mean?
And that's the thing, is finding that right way, because you know what I'm saying, you be with this shit is rough.
Rough.
You know what I'm saying?
Well,
Like,
that's
it
why
is.
it's easier to
go
do it with
back
an
to this.
ex because
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
already know what they like. You
Yeah.
already know how to get them
Yeah.
back. Like for me, my ex, he knows I love food. I never say no to dinner. So for her to say no to lunch, that means she just was not feeling
No,
it.
females love eating. I
We
noticed
love
that.
I'm
food.
telling you.
Love
We
food.
love free food.
Free
So
food. That's the word. Free food.
You want to go out to
food.
eat?
Free food.
yes, I
Yes,
can buy
yes.
myself lunch, but if you want to pay for it, that's even better.
So every date I've ever been on, I have either split the bill or I have paid the bill.
Oh hell no! Absolutely
Every
not.
date. And
Snaps for no to that.
I know. Snaps for no.
Snaps for no.
No.
Absolutely not.
And the worst part is, like, I want the guy to be like, oh, no, I've got it.
They don't ever do
And they
that.
never do. I'm like, who did I come to dinner with?
Yeah,
Why
no, I
aren't
don't
you?
know.
Like, I'm like, oh, no, like, let's split it. Oh, cool. And
They
they
need
think,
to be
like,
punched
they
in the
think,
face.
like, oh, yeah, like, women and men equal. I'm like, I didn't ask for equality. I didn't ask to work.
That's just crazy.
I asked
That's
to make
crazy
money.
to me. I'm old school.
That's crazy.
The man always pays unless I'm asking him out or like I'm making, because I don't mind paying.
Yeah.
Right.
But it's like, especially for seeing each other. But it's like, if I'm inviting you out, then cool. But if you're seeking me out, then I'm old school. The
Like, at
man
this
always
point,
pays.
I'm like sitting down at dinner. The bill comes, right?
Man
and
shouldn't
I'm,
mind
I'm
paying,
over
though.
here, like,
Right.
reaching back into my purse. I'm like, oh, I'll, like, go halves, right? And waiting for them to be like, no. And I'm like, I'll go halves. Okay. And they're
Could
like,
y'all-
oh, yeah,
could-
cool.
could-
And then
could y'all
I have
mess
to
with a
actually
broke man?
grab my purse.
I
you mess with-
have too many times, and we've
Broke?
talked about this in the past. But like I said, I always bring money with me on a date because I have been gypped before. So, and as a matter of fact, I was having a bad day. I don't even remember what it was about, but I was just so upset. And
It was just
this wasn't even
straw
anybody
on
I
the
was
camel's
dating.
back.
I wasn't even dating. It was just a friend of mine. Like, and he was like, oh my God, I gotta cheer you up. I'm gonna take you for drinks. We're gonna go meet up here. And he was like, I'm treating. That nigga ain't had no money. He's like, I don't know what
He
I
said,
did with
I'm
his
treating
He's like,
and have
the
my
check
money.
came out.
I must have
and
left my
I-
wallet in the car.
Yeah, I'm staring at it. Staring.
At a
He's staring.
check?
And he's acting like head everywhere, like it was even there.
It didn't exist.
So after about
line.
10 minutes, if you
Of
haven't even
awkwardness.
looked at what the price is,
You know you ain't got
I
it.
already know I'm screwed.
That takes some
I was
balls
just
to
like,
do that,
took
man.
some balls.
What?
Needless to say, friends no longer.
How did we
As you
figure out
should,
this
Snap.
As you
bill?
should.
Snaps for
how did we figure out this bill?